America's role in the world.
Foreign policy, another key focus tonight amid soaring tensions with Iran, as President Trump defends his approach at home and abroad.
Alice Barr with NBC News there. Ahead of the State of the Union tonight, a new national CNN poll finds President Trump's standing is slipping, especially with independents. Overall, the poll puts President Trump's job approval rating at 36%. But the headline here is independents. Just 26% approve. That's Trump's lowest level in this poll, and it's down from 41% a year ago. The poll also suggests a disconnect on what voters think the White House is focused on. 32% say Trump has had the, quote, right priorities, while 68% say he hasn't paid enough attention to the country's most important problems. And by a 61% to 38% margin, Americans say his policies will move the country in the wrong direction rather than the right one. So why do these numbers matter? Well, independents often decide close elections, and when their approval drops, it can make it harder to sell big policy moves and influence how lawmakers, donors, and voters react to what he lays out in the State of the Union. This CNN poll, by the way, was conducted by SSRS February 17th through the 20th. It surveyed 2,496 adults with a plus or minus 2.5-point margin of error. A reminder, you can watch the State of the Union right here on KGW Plus at 6 o'clock.
Happening today in state politics, lawmakers in Olympia got an earful when it came to the so-called millionaires tax, which is now in the House after passing the Senate. Drew Mickelson has that update.
Members of the House heard from teachers and doctors who say Washington would benefit from the first ever income tax in the state. But millionaires and business owners also lined up, saying if this passes, it could send them packing out of state. The proposed income tax would impose a 9.9% levy on household earnings above $1 million a year. In exchange, small businesses would see tax breaks, and the sales tax on grooming and hygiene products would be eliminated. The state's Working Families Tax Credit would also see a boost in funding for low-income residents. Supporters say it would help fix the state's regressive tax structure, but there are lots of critics, including former Attorney General Rob McKenna.
If this legislature wants a progressive income tax, it should send a constitutional amendment to the voters and not pretend the Constitution isn't clear unless every legislator who votes for this bill is prepared to explain why taxpayers don't have a property right to their own income.
Things are getting worse for many in our community as uncertainty increases together with ever-rising prices. But the millionaire tax finally offers Washington a real opportunity towards a brighter future.
If it passes, those behind this income tax proposal fully expect it to be challenged in court. They also expect to win in court. While there were some business owners and millionaires saying they might leave the state if the income tax is enacted, there were a number of millionaires who testified that they would be happy to pay it.
Drew Mickelson in Olympia. Meanwhile, a bill that would regulate cameras that read license plates, such as those operated by Flock, passed out of a House committee today, just one day before a deadline to keep that alive. The bill would prohibit state and local agencies from using these systems except for specific uses listed in the bill. It would also restrict federal agencies from accessing that data. The bill's already passed the Senate. It's now headed to the House floor for debate.
Now time for a quick step outside for a live look from our Wells Fargo Skycam. A gray day out there for sure, some light rain, but gosh, I think the weather is going to be changing very soon.
Chief Meteorologist Matt Zafinos here. Matt, sounds like things may be about to dry out.
They are at the coast already. Check this out. Sun is yet to go down, but this is our Astoria column Skycam looking to the west-southwest, and yes, that is the sun breaking through the clouds. Great to see that there, 48 degrees at Astoria right now. When you look at Doppler radar, we still have clouds and scattered light rain around the region, mainly just drizzle, but this will be drying out gradually. It's going to take some time, but it will dry out overnight tonight, and really the rest of the state will be drying out too as our atmospheric river from yesterday is breaking up. And in fact, since midnight, the rainfall has been reasonable, about a third of an inch in Portland, a little bit less in Vancouver, a little bit more in Hillsborough. This is after record rainfall yesterday of over an inch in Portland and over 2 inches down in Eugene. So again, we have dried out considerably in the last 24 hours. In fact, here are those record rainfall amounts. Portland 1.08, setting a new record by the slimmest of margins, 1/100th of an inch. In the old record, 1950. So think about that. That's a 76-year-old record that fell. In Salem, a 1-year-old record fell because on February 23rd of last year heavy rainfall again, but Salem outdid it. This year, so did Eugene, breaking a record from the very rainy month of February 1996. It was not that old record, not during the Great Flood. Later in the month, of course, than that. But today, or rather yesterday, over 2 inches in Eugene. So pretty impressive rainfall amounts. But this is all winding down as that system moves away. And I'll let you know what comes up next. It's actually good news if you like sunshine, guys.
Thank you so much, Matt.
Developing tonight, a murder trial is underway for a man accused of killing his wife near their home in Welches in 2024. In opening statements, prosecutors say Michael Fournier's 12-year-old marriage was ending and he was served divorce papers less than 2 days before Susan, his wife, went missing. We spoke to Susan's brother outside the courtroom, who says Michael was going to be left with nothing after the divorce.
He took advantage of a widow. You saw that in the testimony. And that infuriates me. His name was never on the lease. She bought it for the life insurance money from her husband.
The defense only spoke briefly here, indicating to jurors it plans to present evidence that will prove Fournier's innocence.
Oregon lawmakers are pushing for a bill that would help protect survivors of stalking and domestic violence. Chris Steele's law is named after Chris Steele Krug, a Colorado woman who was killed by her stalker. She thought the messages were from her ex, but they turned out to be from her husband. Search warrants went out a month before her death, but many were not returned until after it was too late. The bill would require social media companies to respond to search warrants in cases involving domestic violence or stalking within 72 hours, and all other communications companies within 5 days.
In her case, the communications companies were the only ones that held the key to the identity of her true stalker and ultimately her killer. They were the only ones that could have told her that the call is quite literally coming from inside the house.
Just chilling. The bill passed unanimously in the House and is now in a Senate committee.
Tonight, parents in the Longview School District are demanding answers. There we are, after 2 members of the high school boys basketball team were arrested, accused of sexually assaulting their younger teammates. A warning, the details here are not appropriate for all viewers. On Monday night, parents packed a school board meeting to hear from the superintendent. Catherine Cook has the update.
You guys did not protect our children.
At Longview Public Schools board meeting Monday,
these allegations are not something that should be swept under the rug.
Parents didn't hold back.
The police should have been immediately brought in. This never should have been an internal investigation at all.
Their emotions raw over a student rape case they say district officials downplayed for weeks.
And then we find out that they knew.
Last week, police arrested 2 players on the Mark Morris basketball team. Court documents allege the 16 and 17-year-olds had sexually assaulted younger players for months. Victims told investigators they were dragged into a dark team room and held against their will. According to police reports, school staff and administrators knew about the accusations 2 weeks before a parent went to police, triggering a criminal investigation.
It was a choice for Longview Police Department to arrest the students at school. And I certainly hope they follow through with anybody else that committed the crime of not reporting sexual assault when they were told.
On February 7th, Principal Aaron Whitwright sent a letter to parents criticizing what he called false rumors and speculation, and said the district had already investigated a report and made appropriate consequences. The letter outraged students who protested the district's inaction.
If you fail to step down, this will not go away. The parents of this district are done tolerating your antics, protecting public image over children.
Superintendent Karen Cloninger acknowledged parents' concerns and pledged commitment to the police investigation.
I know some families have said this situation has damaged their trust in the district. That's deeply concerning to me. I know trust is earned through consistent actions, not just words.
Speaking of words, no one on the board offered an apology or used words like mistake. This was as close as they got.
We're committed to learning from this moment and strengthening our system and our processes so that safety remains the center of everything that we do.
After the meeting, we tried to learn more.
I didn't hear an apology tonight. Is there a reason that word moment was used instead of mistake? Are any staff members on paid leave?
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Still a lot of questions there. The superintendent said a third-party investigators will review the school's supervision, safety, and reporting procedures. And once the police investigation is complete, she said a separate outside investigator will review district practices.
Still ahead, snow, and yes, more snow. It's going to take days before it all melts in the Northeast. We'll show you how people are trying to dig out.
And a 7-figure reward in the Nancy Guthrie case. New video from Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie with the search now into its 4th week. Stay with us.
I'm Matthew Herchick, new morning anchor at KGW. I'm a huge sports fan, and I know I might be from the Buckeye State, but I'm excited to explore what the Rose City has to offer. I want to make sure you're prepared for the day, whether it's bringing you breaking news or sharing those inspirational stories that make you smile. We've got you covered. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to Portland's #1 streaming newscast, Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
Welcome back. Thousands in the Northeast remain without power in freezing temperatures as people dig out from extreme snowfall.
More than 2 feet of snow fell in some states over the last couple days, causing significant disruptions on the roads, the rails, and runways. Michael Yoshida has the update.
The big dig out started here in Boston following that massive winter storm that hammered the Northeast. Here in South Boston, or south, you can see just these cars buried all of this snow that's piled up following plows moving through this neighborhood. Here in Boston, they got more than 1.5 feet of snow, but from Boston to Philadelphia, New York, even Providence, some areas getting more than 3 feet of snow. That means a lot of work for these snow plow crews. You can see they've done a good job at least going through the main part of the street, but still a lot of snow piling up. And take a look at this. There's something unique to this area. These space savers. People have come out, they've dug out their cars, they've dug out the space, but to make sure they don't lose this valuable space, we've got a chair, we've got a skateboard marking that territory so someone else can't come in here and grab it. But, you know, it's not just all of this snow that's causing trouble for travel. It's also causing big issues for power across the Northeast. Still some hundreds of thousands of customers in various states being impacted by power outages. Utility companies, elected officials asking for patience, saying yes, they were prepared for this. They staged crews, but it's going to take some time to repair those power lines, repair those power poles. And again, it could be potentially several days for some of those hardest hit areas until the lights come back on. Obviously, a lot of work ahead following this massive winter storm. In Boston, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Wow, a very different situation here. I'm so thankful we don't have all that snow.
Yeah, we don't have to put skateboards and chairs out in front of your house to save your
Apparently,
parking spot.
I had never even thought about that.
It's a thing, right?
It's a lot of work to dig it out, and you don't want to, leave
that.
and then come somebody poached your spot.
That'd be pretty terrible.
It gets competitive in the Northeast.
I can see why.
It's been a quick winter for us, but boy, what a long winter for them. It's been just,
they've been hit.
They have been hit several times. Now, let's take you up to the Cascades, which can use snow. And you know what? We got snow last night. In fact, Timberline reporting 13 inches of new snow since yesterday. Yes, it's above freezing right now, so it's not exactly Champagne Edition powder, but we'll take it because we need the coverage, and this is certainly helping. In fact, our base now is up over 70 inches at Timberline, which is the highest it's been all season. Okay, out of the coast, meanwhile, clearing. Look at the sun. The lighting on the waves is really quite beautiful at the moment, so nice sunset underway there. But for us, we're still socked in with low clouds and rain showers. These haven't really been exiting the region very quickly at all. They're training basically from southwest to northeast. So you can see they're just not really backing out just yet, but they will. It'll just take some time tonight. Over in the rest of the state, there are scattered areas of rain, but the overall widespread steady, moderate to heavy rainfall is now confined mainly to northern California as the atmospheric river is beginning to get cut off. Low pressure is moving on away from the west coast, actually, in a bit of a different deal. So as that backs away, the pattern changes. We're watching a weather system up here in the Gulf of Alaska, and that's going to drift on down into BC and Washington. See the snow showers in the Cascades of northern Washington there? That'll bring in some cooler air. I don't think we get any showers here in Portland from that tomorrow. If we do, they'll be light and scattered, but Washington will, and it will bring us cooler temperatures and really some pleasant weather. Now, you remember that system I said was backing away from the west coast? Well, it comes back to the west coast over the weekend and throws a few showers into southern Oregon and northern California, but that's on Saturday, and I think we stay dry here in the northern part of the state, end up with a really excellent weekend. In fact, dry weather until about Tuesday or Wednesday when this cold front comes on shore and brings valley rain and mountain snow in a more typical fashion, with the snow level dropping again behind that down to probably 2,000 feet or so. Here's that weak system tomorrow. There's really not much of a reflection of it in the upper atmosphere. This is the system coming in Saturday, and it's in a much weakened state by the time it arrives here. Pushes through, and then that's the next one coming in Tuesday night or Wednesday of next week to bring us some decent Cascade snow yet again. So the ski season is incrementally getting better as we go through. Well, by that time, we'll be into the month of March. 46 is our high today. The average for this date is 53, so we're well below the average, but they made 58 in Roseburg, 57 in Gold Beach, and in the 50s in Central Oregon. Again, you won't do that tomorrow. Okay, the clouds hanging on in Portland. They just do not want to give up, and they're still producing some light rain. That freezing level will begin to drop tonight. On the coast, partly sunny, and because of that system coming in from the north, had to throw a couple evening showers in the forecast for the coast tomorrow, but not much there. For the valleys, will be dry. Should become sunny after morning fog. Lows in the mid-30s, but above freezing, and highs make the low 50s tomorrow. In the Cascades, partly sunny and a snow shower or two. A bit breezy and colder with highs in the 20s at the ski area, so that's good news. Partly sunny, could be a shower in the northern parts of central and eastern Oregon, the Columbia Basin, but as you go south, you get into the sun. It'll be quite beautiful. In the gorge, also strong west winds tomorrow, partly sunny, and the windiest sections out around Hood River to the Dalles. Showers ending tonight in Portland. It becomes partly sunny tomorrow with a high of 51, 53 on Thursday, 55 on Friday, a couple degrees cooler Saturday because of cloud cover, but then we jump to 57 on Sunday and Monday and the 60s by next Tuesday. So March is going to come in on a pretty gentle note.
I know a lot of people who are going to be celebrating that 7-day. You're one of them, aren't you?
I am. Thanks, Matt.
You bet.
I'm coming on to say it is day 24 since Armand was taken in the dark of night from her bed.
Just heartbreaking. An emotional plea there today from Savannah Guthrie as the family increases the reward to find Nancy. We'll have more on that when we return. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Christine Padawanich. I'm a journalist at KGW, and I love exploring Portland's amazing food scene. New spot? I'm there. So I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. What happens here affects us all, and that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it doesn't sit still, it moves. It moves you to act, to vote, to volunteer, to speak up, or to lend a hand. It moves your mind by challenging assumptions and offering new perspectives. It moves you forward by giving you the information to make decisions and thrive where you live. And yes, it moves your heart through the good stuff that stays with you wherever you are. And at KGW, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Portland.
Welcome back to a new and emotional video tonight from Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie.
She says her family is now offering a $1 million reward for information leading to their mother Nancy's recovery. Lee Waldman has the latest.
I'm coming on to say it is day 24 since our mom was taken in the dark of night from her bed.
As law enforcement is working on the investigation into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, her daughter, Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie, is offering up a reward for her mother's recovery.
We are offering a family reward of up to $1 million.
This is in addition to the FBI's $100,000 reward for information about 84-year-old Guthrie. It's the first we've heard from one of Guthrie's children in more than a week. Amidst the plea, Savannah Guthrie acknowledged for the first time that her mother may no longer be alive.
She may have already gone home to the Lord that she loves.
CNN's chief law enforcement and intelligence analyst John Miller believes this video comes as substantive tips in the case are slowing down.
The family still believes, and investigators concur with this, that there's still someone out there, maybe more than one someone, who actually knows.
Meanwhile, new details have emerged about the masked person seen on doorbell camera footage. The suspect visited her doorstep on 2 different days, not just the morning she is believed to have been kidnapped, a source told CNN. The Pima County Sheriff's Department said in a statement Monday there is no date or time stamp associated with these images, and suggesting the photos were taken on different days is purely speculative. I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
I'm Trina Green, morning anchor at KGW and new dog mom to this sweet guy. Meet Barry. I love getting your mornings off to a great start, whether it's sharing stories of resilience and triumph in our community,
Or following breaking news from Beaverton to Gresham and everywhere in between.
we've got you covered, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to KGW Sunrise, weekday mornings from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Wait, a quick note, KGW News at 6 is preempted tonight by the State of the Union. I'll be back at 9 and again at 11 with local reaction plus all the day's headlines and your updated forecast.
We'll leave you with this shot from the nation's capital. Again, stay with us here on KGW Plus for live coverage of President Trump's speech to the nation.